Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Janae Latrice. And listen, thank you so much for having me here tonight to be a part of your very special celebration. I pulled up with a few of my friends and we're just gonna have a little bit of fun. Happy spring to everybody. If you catch a vibe, if you hear anything that you know and love, please sing along with us. I mean, we do want to hear you at the Is that all right? Come on. Ooh, ooh, ooh. For better days to come, I pray that I would see the sun, 'cause life gets so burdensome when every day's a rainy one. You take me to another place, there's no more war, just love and grace. Baby, you restore my faith, I know the struggle's not in vain. You know and I know, friends come and friends go, storms rise and winds blow, but one thing I know for sure, when it's cold outside, yeah, there's no need to worry, 'cause I'm so warm inside. You bring me peace when the storm's outside, 'cause we're in love, I know it'll be alright. Alright, it's alright. So hard to find, we're terrorized and victimized, but that's when I close my eyes and think of you to ease my mind. You take me to another place, no more war, no more war. Baby, you restore my faith, I know the struggle's not in vain. You know and I know, through all the battles, Baghdad to Israel, there's one thing I know for sure, when it's cold outside, there's no need to worry, 'cause I'm so warm inside. Yeah. You bring me peace when the storm's outside, 'cause we're in love, I know it'll be alright. Alright, it's alright. Alright, it's alright. Alright, it's alright. Alright, it's alright. Oh, when it's cold outside, hey, there's no need to worry, 'cause I'm so warm inside. You bring me peace when the storm's outside, 'cause we're in love, I know it'll be alright. Alright, it's alright. In the middle of the storm, yeah. When it's cold, you're keeping me warm. It's alright. It's alright. Yeah. Hey, baby, yeah, nah. Thank you guys so much. Once again, I'm Janae Latrice. Love you all.
Good evening. Welcome to the first gala for the Harambee Institute of Science and Technology Charter School. My name is Gregory Shannon, and I am privileged and honored to serve as the president and CEO of this esteemed institution. We appreciate that you have chosen to spend this evening with us. Harambee is a project-based, co-ed, kindergarten through 8th grade charter school in West Philadelphia, serving nearly 600 students. Since 1978, Harambee has used science and technology as a means to prepare students to participate in the rigors of 21st century global society. Harambee's founder, the late John D. Skeef, was an educator and political activist who labored his entire adult life to promote self-reliance among the African American community. It is this philosophy that continues to guide our experience we provide for our young people. We celebrate the families that are a part of the Harambee village. We have parents who have continued to support us long after their children have moved on. This is a real testament of involvement and a statement of involvement. And we could not make any of this happen without the dedicated team of educators, staff, who instruct and inspire us all. It goes without saying that the past year has been trying in so many ways. Yet throughout this unprecedented stresses and challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic, Harambee Institute has maintained nearly 90% student attendance and participation primarily through our Google Classroom learning management systems. This powerful statistic indicates one thing above all else, that our families are actively choosing this school and the immense, comprehensive whole household experience we provide. I am so proud of the outstanding achievements of our young people who have in many instances outperformed students who are in much higher grades. We want the Harambee experience to be the launch pad to stellar careers in STEM and outstanding advocates in the civic arena. I would like to celebrate our awardees, Ms. Dixie James, Dr. David Arscott, and Mr. Michael Rashid, who have epitomized excellence and work in the STEM fields. We thank you for joining our efforts to increase the presence of our school and our students. Have a wonderful evening.
Congratulations on behalf of Dare to Imagine Church to Greg Shannon and Harambee Institute. We are so proud of you. And remember this, life is better when you dare to imagine.
Right now in Philadelphia and all of the major cities, there is a war amongst the 16 to 35-year-olds due to a poverty mindset, undereducation, and unemployment. And Stocks versus Sneakers answers all three. With Promote Peace. That is, promoting proper education and cooperative economics. To find out more, visit our website at sbsppc.com.
Habari Yajoni, and good evening. I'm Maurice Baynard, and I'm proud to represent the Board of Directors of Harambee Institute of Science and Technology Charter School. For the last 7 years, I've had the privilege to serve with my fellow board members to support, oversee, and grow our lasting mission. As a Philadelphian born and raised, educated in the public schools who enjoyed the privilege of outstanding and caring teachers that encouraged my curiosity and ignited a love of learning, I'm passionate about providing these opportunities to every child. This is their absolute right, but one which must be fought for every day, both in the classroom, at home, and by us who agree that education is the key to self-reliance. This is why I joined the board and why we want others to join us in support of this great school. As a research scientist and college professor, I'm committed to building what I call the playground to PhD pipeline. Here in the 21st century, the world is yearning for children to embrace a love of science, technology, engineering, and math, and to do that early. And to contribute to answering the challenges that face us, challenges that begin in our own communities and extend globally. To get there, we'll need an army of educators of color here in the Philadelphia region. Teachers that students can see themselves in, that model and embody their future success and unleash the knowledge that it will take to get them there. All of this is happening today at Harambee, but we've got so much more to do. I thank our stellar awardees for joining us this evening. It is people like you whose attention and commitment to Harambee empowers us to make these unique contributions to our community.
Harambee Institute of Science and Technology Charter School proudly honors Dixie James of Einstein Healthcare Network. Thank you for your commitment to STEM education.
Hello, Harambee. It gives me great joy to join you today for your first virtual gala. I'm incredibly honored and humbled to be a recipient of your STEM Achievement Award. 50 years of educating and exposing students to educational excellence focused on STEM is absolutely a reason to celebrate. I love hearing about the wide range of activities that students are engaged in, from robotics to oratorical skills, all with Harambee excellence. An excellence achieved through a philosophy rooted in confidence building and a supportive community of family, caregivers, and educators. This combination equips students with the tools and thinking needed to navigate the world, not only as a career professional, but as a voice and representation of civic equity. Anchored and proud of your roots and history, Harambee students are prepared to soar and succeed. As a young Black girl growing up in Boston, I too dreamed of soaring and helping people in the field of medicine, but never imagined that dream would be realized on the management side of medicine. Thankfully, however, God had a plan. I went to college a biology major, but found my true passion for administration after a summer internship at a large inner-city hospital in Boston. After that summer, I changed my major and graduated with a bachelor's degree in healthcare management. I then went on to complete an MBA with a concentration in healthcare administration. Armed with my degrees, a lot of networking, and even more hard work, I began my career as a planning analyst 18 years ago and never looked back. Today, I'm the president and chief operating officer of Einstein Philadelphia, managing a 500-plus bed academic medical center, skilled nursing facility, ambulatory care facility, and a 197-bed independent rehab facility with a combined budget of $900 million. Most importantly, however, I get to help people by working every day to improve access to life-saving care and high-quality and equitable outcomes. The events of 2020 certainly underscored the importance of healthcare-related fields and health equity. The impact of COVID-19 has been beyond anything we could have imagined, and disproportionately so in communities of color. Many of you in this virtual audience have been impacted by COVID, either as a healthcare worker, concerned family member, or as a patient with varying degrees of severity. That impact emphasizes the need for and importance of vaccination. Finding a vaccine was an enormous undertaking, and I'm inspired by the people of color, in particular those of African descent, that have been a part of the scientific research and on the frontline vaccination work. The appearance of Philadelphia's own Alice Stanford on national news a couple weeks ago, as well as the twin docs who have been making sure that our community members are vaccinated, should speak to students about where their futures can be. Harambee is putting students on this path, and I hope to make a difference in the lives of the Harambee community as I continue to serve as an ambassador and partner on behalf of these amazing students. Thank you again, Harambee, for this extraordinary honor, and congratulations to my fellow award recipients.
Harambee Institute of Science and Technology Charter School proudly honors Dr. David R. Scott of Stroud Water Research Center. Thank you for your commitment to STEM education.
Good evening, and thank you so much for your recognition of our contributions in the area of science and technology. Over the course of the last year, I enjoyed getting to know Greg Shannon and the work of Harambee Institute of Science and Technology Charter School. I feel fortunate to have met Greg prior to the coronavirus pandemic, so that when we met months later in virtual events, we had a relationship to build upon. I've been inspired learning the history of Harambee and the Harambee Way. I've recently committed to a true partnership with Harambee and have begun to explore opportunities for grant funding to support Harambee programs and to chart a course for future collaborations with Stroud Water Research Center. The Stroud Center's mission is to advance knowledge and stewardship of freshwater systems through global research, education, and watershed restoration. I've been working for the Stroud Center for about 15 years, and I've been the leader of the center since 2017. In our pursuits at the Stroud Center, we cannot stress the importance of our work enough, as clean water is an environmental imperative not only for our region, but for the nation and for the world. Water is a requirement for life as we know it, and access to clean water is paramount for ecosystems and for society. There are so many people who cannot access and count on clean, fresh water. And there are too many examples in our past and present days that illustrate this point. Whether it's the historical accounts of rivers starting on fire or contaminated drinking water systems that have catastrophically impacted the lives of entire communities, such as the recent past events in Flint, Michigan. I grew up in Michigan and enjoyed the bounty of its lakes, streams, and rivers. I spent much of my time as a young person fishing and swimming and boating in these waters. I recognized it was easy to take for granted the access that I had to a clean and healthy environment. But as we all learn through our lives and in our experiences and living through some of these catastrophes, we recognize the fragility of our environment and the damage that we can incur on these systems. The damage can be avoided, but it remains a gigantic struggle for our socio-political systems to protect our environment and provide equitable access to clean, fresh water for all. We must do better. We can do better. We must ensure the future of freshwater and access for all to this critical resource, as it's the foundation and foundational component of our lives and who we are. In the field of freshwater research, we at the Stroud Center have a commitment to attracting more young people of color to the field. We need researchers with diverse perspectives and backgrounds. The Stroud Center has embarked on what we call JEDI training, focused on justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion. And we're determined to become not only an anti-racist organization, but an organization that takes seriously its responsibility to inspire more young people from all walks of life to follow STEM and environmental science careers, and to help, of course, protect and restore our ecosystems. The Stroud Center is not alone in this pursuit. There's a groundswell of action from many organizations that we're involved with, like the Society for Freshwater Science, just to name one. We are committed to these principles and actions, and we must remain focused to this work to be more inclusive so that we can ensure a better future for all of us and planet Earth. To share a bit of my background, as I mentioned, I grew up in Michigan. I grew up in a science-influenced household. My father was a biochemist at the University of Michigan, and coincidentally, he had worked with Dr. Nancy Hopkins Evans during her PhD time. Some of you may have known her during her time with the school district. My mother was a landscape architect and an avid gardener and naturalist. My parents clearly influenced my pathway to become an environmental scientist and freshwater ecologist. But through my studies and my careers, probably I was most inspired by the landscapes I visited. Lakes, streams, and rivers around the world. I was very fortunate to play in the lakes of Michigan and Minnesota and study in streams and rivers from the Appalachian Mountains here in the Northeast to the European Alps in Switzerland and Italy to the Southern Alps in New Zealand, and even volcanic streams and rivers in Central America and Costa Rica. I even had an opportunity to go to Antarctica and work on ponds that were on ice flows coming off of the continent. The opportunity to travel through the world and see these varied landscapes and study with people from incredibly diverse backgrounds has meant a great deal to me. And I want to see more young people of color having these sorts of scientific adventures. Lastly, I certainly could not have succeeded to this point in my career without the love and support from my wife, Yeda. Her passion for culture, people, and art as an architect, gardener, and outdoors enthusiast has been a wonderful and supportive partnership. In closing, I'm so honored to be a recipient of this award from Harambee. Along with my team at the Stroud Center, I genuinely look forward to the work we will do in the future. Thank you.
Harambee Institute of Science and Technology Charter School proudly honors Michael Rashid of the City of Philadelphia. Thank you for your commitment to STEM education.
Good evening. My name is Mike Rashid, and I want to thank Mr. Shannon, as well as his team, Sarah Ferguson, Erica Washington, Michelle Thornton, and Angela Dennis, for having me as your first virtual gala. Education has always been near and dear to me. Both of my parents worked 2 jobs all throughout my youth in order to send us to college. That was because education was their number one priority. They saw education as the way out, and they were right. My parents were always talking about education. I played around a lot, but in the back of my mind, the importance of education was always there because they put those messages into me and into my brother and sister. But that was a simpler time. Today is quite different. Technology and the media play a very important role in the lives of our young people. Today, the social media producers, the writers, the directors, the programmers, they all play an important part in the messages that you hear. And they shape our young people, just like the messages that I heard coming up shape me. For some, the messages that come from the media can be hurtful. For some, it can be good. They can be good. Hopefully, the messages that you have been hearing are good messages, but we can't count on that. When the messages that you hear come from people that don't care about you, that can be a bad thing. When the messages that you hear are produced by people who really just want to manipulate you, that can be a bad thing. That's the problem. What we need in our community is to develop our own Black scientists who are doing those messages, who are creating those messages. We need scientists like the scientists that you saw in the Wakanda movie. We need Wakanda scientists, quite frankly, who can organize themselves, think among themselves, produce among themselves, and to fight against the demonic forces that are trying to shape our minds. I spent 30 years in healthcare, finally serving as president and CEO of the AmeriHealth Caritas family of companies. I saw how healthcare has grown to become a big business in the United States. Healthcare is now worth $10 trillion in this country per year. Compare that to the NFL, which is a big business. Healthcare is 800 times larger than the NFL. That's how big. $1 in $5 in this country are spent on healthcare. In spite of its size, we can see today that healthcare, to some extent, has let down the Black and brown communities. So it's a great thing. community where Black and brown people suffer more from COVID, from diabetes, cancer, high blood pressure than the other populations do, because there are disparities in healthcare in this great big business. So that's a problem. We need our own scientists. We need our own Wakanda kind of people. We need our own Black Panthers who will go out here and create solutions for our people. In fact, we need a whole army of Black Panthers, quite frankly, who will go around the world fighting against oppression, fighting against the messages that are being fed into our people that are negative, that are hurting our people. You go to a great school, take advantage of it. You live in a great time. Take advantage of that. The whole world is waking up and is fighting back against oppression. Be a scientist that will lead in this fight. As Philadelphians, we must do all that we can to support quality education. I am so proud of the accomplishments of the Harambee School. I salute you. I salute your parents. But most of all, I ask you, be serious, be a scientist, and help advance the cause of our people. Thank you.
We have another family here. There's a huge support system, whether it's from the students, the teachers, the counselors, even the nurse or the people at the front office.
Being challenged to really understand who I am and where I come from and where my people come from.
Basically showed me that I should not be scared or not be nervous to do what I want to do in life.
In my future, Harambee has really set a high standard for me. Not only the academic things, but the cultural things and the practices, the languages that we practice. I hope to take all of that and show other people that there's a world just outside of what they're living.
It's a really great thing that now, in turn, I'm back at Harambee as an educator, and I'm able to teach children that look like me and just be back here where I feel like it's family.
Now is the time to amplify our visibility in order to increase our funding capacity and to celebrate the school's legacy of educational excellence. From capital improvement projects and funding of dynamic extracurricular activities to the expansion of existing STEM programs and internal technology enhancements, Harambee Institute needs significant and reliable funding to continue advancing our mission and vision. An investment in Harambee Institute ensures an outstanding future for the students we prepare. We invite you to become a part of our village. We need your treasure, time, and talent in order to ensure a fruitful, sustainable legacy for Harambee and our children.
We ask your support as we help our children dream bigger dreams. We intend for them to have the best equipment possible for our STEM programs, and we want to provide greater opportunities for exposure through competitions, field trips, and partnerships. Our 6-week goal is $50,000. Over the course of the coming year, we intend to increase that goal significantly. With your help, we will be well on the way.
Giving to Harambee is very easy. Our address is 640 North 66th Street, Philadelphia, PA 19151. Make checks or money orders payable to Harambee Institute, or When the pandemic restrictions are lifted, you are welcome to visit our school and see our programs in action. And as a reminder, you can always visit us on our website at www.histcs.org. Thank you.
I hope you've been having an amazing time so far. Once again, my name is Janae Latrice, and this next song is from my brand new album, Back to Me, which is available everywhere. And it really just speaks to all the power that all of us hold to manifest, truly manifest, whatever it is that we want in this life. I hope you enjoy it. Let's go. They say when you love a thing, let it fly, and then you'll see. Hey, where it goes, if it really knows where it's meant to be. But I can't lie, and I don't know why, but I can't seem to set this free. Hey, one day, I can't wait to say, manifest my dream. But until then, I'm walking head held high above the clouds. I say it loud, I'm gonna manifest my dream. Hey, it ain't no doubt, no lie, no fear. There's a reason why I'm here, to make it clear. Come on, I'm gonna manifest my dream. Listen, I'm not the kind of girl to let what lives inside of me go to waste, be mishandled on this place, for it gets the chance to be set free. Yeah, I decide what happens in my life. No, the choice is up to me. So when I say life will go my way, I know I'm guaranteed. Yeah, but until then, I'm walking head held high above the clouds. I say it loud. Come on, I'm gonna manifest my dream. It ain't no doubt, no lie, no fear. There's a reason why I'm here, to make it clear. I'm gonna manifest my dream. Ooh, yeah. Hey, come on. It's easy. Manifest my dream. I wanna hear you say that part. Come on. Hey, right here, say manifest my dream. That's it. It ain't no doubt, no lie, no fear. There's a reason why I'm here, to make it clear. You're gonna manifest your dream. Hey, I know that's right. Y'all sound so good singing that with me. I hope you believe it in your heart and take that with you. Thank you guys so much for having me. Once again, my name is Janae Latrice. Hey, peace and love to everybody. Have a good night.